G'day guys, welcome back to the Devon Too Good Investing channel. Now we've got some fairly potentially concerning news today for Alibaba shareholders, especially if you are into the sort of strategy of cloning great investors. But pretty much the news is that Monish Pabrai, who manages Pabrai investment funds, has sold 77% of his stake in Alibaba. And this is according to the 13F filing that was filed a few days ago. One thing that we might sort of want to take into account in Pabrai's portfolio is that he has done sort of a general sort of sell-off for quite a few different stocks in his portfolio. In particular, Rain Industries and, of course, Alibaba. And honestly, selling out of the position this sort of quickly is quite uncharacteristic of Monish Pabrai, as he is typically a long-term investor with a long sort of time horizon with his investments. Pabrai when he's making investments into companies, he's looking out sort of 5, 10, even longer, like decades out into the future. In terms of positions that he has added, he's added a little bit of Micron, pretty much fairly insignificant amount, but he has doubled down on Races, which is I think it's a logistics company in Turkey, which is quite interesting. But so look, there could be many reasons why Monish Pabrai has needed to sell. And one of those reasons could be that potentially a large investor into Pabrai funds is wanting to withdraw money from the fund. So in turn, that's going to force Monish to sell some of his positions. That could explain sort of these like large sort of, wide scale sell-offs across his portfolio. Another reason could be that maybe he's just not confident in Alibaba anymore, which would be weird because nothing's really changed with the business since he's bought it. Like all the same risk factors are the same, and there hasn't really been enough time for the investment to sort of materialize. You're not going to find out whether you're right or wrong about an investment sort of within a few months. You probably won't sort of like know for sure, until at least a couple of years in the future. Potentially he likes a different investment more. We've seen him double down into Races. But he has spoke quite highly about Tencent, so maybe he is putting in some sort of investment into Tencent, and it's just not showing up here. Maybe he's buying it on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange or something. But who knows what he's doing? It could just be a personal reason. Maybe he's got some taxes that he needs to pay. But from my perspective, it's not what I wanted to see. It really did take me by surprise, quite honestly. I didn't think Pabrai was going to sell out of Alibaba for at least until something crazy changed with the business, or at least a few years down the track when we see sort of Alibaba sort of catch up with where the stock price is sort of like egregiously above its like sort of fundamental intrinsic value. But especially because Monish Pabrai has sort of identified Alibaba as a compounder, and Monish has came out on numerous occasions saying that he wants to fill his portfolio with compounders, as it's simply less work, and he wants to let these investments run and do what great compounders do. But other than that, I'm quite surprised about it. It'd be interesting to see if he comes out and sort of explains his reasoning for selling, so much of Alibaba, and also just for general sell-off of the portfolio. Maybe he has some concerns about sort of the stock market in sort of maybe the short term. Maybe he's worried about inflation. Maybe he's worried about sort of interest rates rising in 2022. But we don't really know, and we might not ever sort of find out unless he comes out and speaks about it. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye on other super investors as they come out, sort of, as these 13F filings come out over the next, I think they'll have to release them in the next few days, or else they're going to miss the deadline. So yeah, expect more videos following up on this. I've sort of noticed like this like sort of general sell-off. I believe a few different super investors have sort of started to sell off. Notably, David Tepper from Appaloosa Capital Management. I think that's what his fund's called. I'm pretty sure last quarter he did sort of widely sell off some of his positions. So yeah, perhaps there is a bit of short-term fear with sort of macro conditions of the market. But look, I'm not really in the business of trying to time the market or play macro sort of factors. I'm just worried about, is the business performing? Is the price that I paid for it fair? And how much is it going to grow out into the future? And based off that, I sort of discount that back and work out how much I can make, compounded for the investment. But guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll keep you updated on this one. See you next time.